Hello everyone, how are you? I am coming to you live to do this video, and if you're catching the replay, please let me know that you caught the replay. I will be uploading this video to YouTube, so if you're watching me on YouTube, let me know in the comments your thoughts, the things that you got from this video, whether it moved you, it inspired you, it brought some awareness, clarity. Feel free to share your thoughts on YouTube or even here on Facebook if you're watching me from Facebook. I'm streaming right now from my private Facebook group, which is currently called Divine Creation, and I'm waiting for the name change. I'm waiting for that divine light bulb moment where I get the new name for the group, but currently this is the name of the group. And in today's topic, first of all, if you're tuning in to me for the first time, my name is Stef. I'm a psychic business empowerment coach. I teach people, especially spiritual entrepreneurs, how to manifest whatever they want in their personal lives and their businesses. So whatever you want to have in your life, you can have it, and I teach you how to get out of your own way, basically, and being able to receive those things. And how I do that is I teach my clients how to have such a high level of awareness around what they're carrying in their limiting beliefs, their fears, their repressed emotions, and really bringing that to their awareness, and then teaching them how to clear that and release that so that they're able to then become more of a vibrational match for what they desire. And in so doing, they're able to then attract those opportunities or people or whatever it is that they're looking for with so much more ease and grace. So that's how I help people. And I love teaching manifesting. I love helping people step into their power and understanding that they are truly the creators of their lives and that they can really have everything that they want, that they don't have to pick and choose, that they can really have it all. But it's a matter of going within and releasing all of those things that are making it harder than it needs to be, take longer than it needs to be, and so on and so forth, so that you can get what you want more quickly and easily. So I'm doing this teaching from my group, and the title is Why Wait to Change Your Life for the Better Until It's Too Late. So, and I felt really inspired to speak on this subject because this is what I've noticed for the last few years that I've been doing this coaching work. Is I really notice that people quite often, they will receive sign after sign after sign that it's time to make a change. It's time to go in a different direction. It's time to play a bigger game, whatever it is. But in some way, it's time for something to shift. And people don't notice the sign or don't want to listen to the sign, or they purposely ignore the sign, or just don't notice it. And so they don't take action on that, and they hold back and they resist, either consciously or unconsciously, and time goes by and more things happen, and eventually the situation or whatever it is in their lives gets to a point where the universe has sent you sign after sign or smoke signal after smoke signal, and you haven't yet gotten the message. And so in order for the universe to really get you to wake the F up and pay attention and make the change, quite often you need something to shake your world. You need some kind of big thing to really get you off your butt and start taking action or start moving forward in the direction of this change, right? And so it's really interesting because all of us, I think most people at least, have a kind of vision for your life, a kind of ideal dream reality or dream life, dream business, and you have this really big thing that you want. Well, anytime you ask for something different from what you have, the universe responds. The universe immediately starts working on moving things to try to get you to go in the direction of that thing that you desire, so that you can manifest that. Because the universe loves you and supports you and wants to help you in creating whatever it is that you want. And so the moment that you decide, hey, I really want to, make a difference in the world and empower people, and it would be really awesome if I could create a business around this. Or, hey, I would really love to make lots of money, and being able to stay at home, taking care of my kids and spending time with my kids and educating my kids and not necessarily having to go to a 9-to-5 job. Or, hey, I would really love this amazing partner that really loves me and respects me and supports me. Or I would really love to have great health. I would really love to be in shape. I would really love to be around a group of people that have a certain lifestyle or think a certain way or whatever. Anytime you have a desire for something different different, something greater than what you have, something much better than what you have right now, the universe immediately responds to you. The universe immediately starts getting on creating whatever it is that you desire. And so the universe then starts sending you all of those little signs to try to move you in the direction of what you have asked for, what you have asked. Like, I want this, I want greater worthiness, I want more success in my business, I want to feel more beautiful. Whatever it is that you have asked for, the universe immediately starts trying to send you in that direction so that you can get that thing that you want. But then people generally don't notice the signs, or they see the signs and they're like, no, I'm not ready for that, or I don't want to do that yet, or I'm afraid of change, or whatever it is, depending on the situation, okay? Because I can speak to specific situations, but this is a general message, okay? And so people don't notice those signs, or they resist the sign and they don't take action on that. And so what happens is that you have had such a strong desire for something different. The universe has put you on a kind of like train that has already started building momentum, right? It's kind of like a train started taking off from the station, and behind the train is you tied to a rope. You're on the back of the train and the train is taking off. And instead of you getting on the train and boarding the train and going to your destination or whatever it is that you have asked for, you are still there on the train tracks, attached to the rope, allowing the train to drag you forward. And the train eventually, you know, with every sign that comes, it's picking up speed, and it's going a little bit faster and a little bit faster and a little bit faster. And so initially you started being kind of pulled by the train and you were walking, and then you missed the sign, and then the train started going faster, and then you started, like, you know, picking up your pace with your walk, and then it started going a little bit faster because you missed the next sign, and then now you're jogging, and then another sign came and you ignored it, you resisted, or whatever it was, and now the train is really taking off and you're running. And then because you still haven't boarded the train, you still haven't taken action in the way in which you're being asked to take action, the train eventually gets to a point where it's going so fast and you cannot keep up, and then next thing you know, you're getting dragged behind this train. And when you're getting dragged behind the train, how that manifests in the physical world is something big happens in your life where you have no other alternative but to move forward in the direction of what you have asked for, where you have got to do something to change things up a lot of times, okay? Because this is the interesting thing that I have observed from people, is that we ask for these amazing things. I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to have this and have that and be this and be that. And you ask for so much, you know, but then when it comes time to being able to create that or be that or do that or have that or whatever, you're unwilling to change. You're unwilling to do things differently from what you have done them before. You just want to stay in your comfort zone. You want to stay to what you've known. You want to stay to the struggle that has always been part of your life, or the feelings of unworthiness that had always formed part of your life, or whatever the situation is. And so that's why you either consciously or unconsciously don't pay attention to all the little signs that the universe has been sending you this whole time, and you hold on to that and you hold on to that. And then eventually, because you don't pay attention, the universe is like, okay, you asked for this and you're getting it, and since you're not moving forward, we're going to have to throw this in your face for you to do something different, right? So in the case of, let's say, for example, with money, because I love talking about money and I teach around money and so on and so forth. So many people say, I want to, you know, manifest money, or I want to have a better financial situation, or I want to do this and that. But then when it comes time to doing something about their finances, or investing in themselves to get the education and support that they need to improve their finances, they don't do anything different, right? They stick with the struggles. They're like, oh no, but I can't afford it right now, or this happened or that, and I can't do that right now, and maybe later, and da-da-da. Or they keep going around their same habits and hanging around the same people and doing the same kinds of things and so on. So you have asked for so much money, and yet you're willing to do things differently from what you've always done, which is basically perpetuating the cycle in which you have always been in regards to money. And you're going to keep going in that and keep going in that direction until, because you have asked so strongly for a different situation, the universe is going to be like, so you're not doing anything differently from your own part. We're going to have to do something to help you make that decision or move in that direction because you're not going on your own free will. And this is something that you've asked for, so we're just going to give you a nudge to go in this direction. And how that often manifests is big struggles or something in order for you to completely shift in a new direction, in order for you to finally do something to get out of that situation. So a great example of this is, for example, the people that are in my Money Matrix Magic program, right? Most of them didn't feel like they were ready for that program. Most of them felt like that was such a big investment for them and they couldn't really commit to that, and all of their stories or whatever, right? But they recognized that, like, crap, if I don't jump on this opportunity now, nothing's ever going to change. And I've been trying to make a change on my own for a while, and nothing I'm doing seems to be working, no matter how much I'm doing this and that and so on and so forth. So screw it. Like, I'm going to take this leap of faith. I'm going to get in this program. I'm going to get the support I need, and I'm going to manifest these things some way, somehow, and break free from that cycle, right? They chose to step into that rather than continue to be dragged by life, you know, and have all these situations and stuff and so on to happen, to then, like, spring them into action. Because what happens is that, how can I explain it? What happens is one of these people in particular wanted to be in one of my money mindset programs last year. But again, the money stories came up for this person, and they were like, I really want to do this, but I can't afford it at this time. So on and so forth. Cool. They passed on the opportunity at that time, whatever. And as the time in the journey unfolded, they had certain challenges and so on and so forth. And that's because nothing different happened. And the challenges that they experienced in the meantime caused them to, when this opportunity came around the second time, you know, the stories came up again, but they were like, okay, but this time I'm going to move forward with it and I'm going to get in this program. And so they decided to spring into action and to do something completely different, instead of allowing for the financial situation to get worse or whatever, and then that forced them into action anyway. Does that make sense? Most people wait for the situation to get worse. That's what I mean when I say, why wait to change your life until it's too late? Why do you wait till the absolute last minute? It's kind of like an exam or some kind of project that you have to turn in, and you wait until the very last minute, right, where you're all stressed out and everything, and you're like really moving forward to finally move forward and do this thing. That's what most people do, is you ask for these things, and then the universe sends you all these smoke signals, all these signs and so on, and you know, you take your sweet time, or you procrastinate, or you leave it, and whatever it is. And then because you haven't moved forward in the way in which on a spiritual level you have asked to move forward in, then the universe brings you something to move your butt forward because now you're backed against a wall, and now you have no choice but to move forward. And that's what we do as humans a lot of times. We wait to the very last minute. We wait until we manifest some kind of disease to finally make those dietary and lifestyle choices. We wait until our financial situation is just completely trashed to finally make the shifts within our behaviors and our beliefs, or investing in ourselves or whatever, to finally change that story and go in a different direction. We wait until our relationship is so bad, you know, before we go and seek help to heal that, or not fix the relationship or heal. I'm not trying to use these words, but to restore that relationship, to return harmony back to that relationship, right? We wait until the last minute a lot of times. And like, why do we do this? That's the question here. Why do we wait until the last minute, until it's so bad that we're in so much pain that we finally are like, okay, this is too much pain, I can't handle it, I'm finally going to do something about it because this pain sucks, right? That's what we do as humans, though. For some reason, it's amazing behavior, and I've totally done this in the past, 100%. So no judgment here, people, because I totally get it. You know, everyone is going to deal with these kinds of situations at the level at which they're at in their personal development, right? But at some point along the journey, you really start understanding, like I do, that it's better to board that train once you notice it, or as soon as you possibly can notice it, you know, instead of allowing it to drag you and then having this big thing show up in your life to move you into action. It's better to get on there as quickly as possible so that it's easier for you. And so a good example of this that I want to share with all of you, because I love sharing my own personal experiences, everything I go through, and so on, is something that I'm going to publicly announce in a post later today, but I'm announcing it to all of you here, is that I'm going to be leaving Peru. I live in Peru. I've been living in Peru for almost 10 years, with 1 year abroad, but whatever. And I have this apartment, and my lease is up this April coming up. And I've been needing to make a decision around this. You know, I needed to contact my landlords and let them know I'm not going to be renewing the contract. And I have needed to reach out to them like about a week ago or so, right? But unconsciously, I was resisting it, you know, resisting the smoke signal. I knew I had to move forward with this, but I was like, oh, wait, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to do that thing, and I'm going to do this thing. Oh, no, it's too late now. Now I just want to rest and all this other stuff, right? This is what we do, right? And I was aware of my behavior. I was aware that I was avoiding it. I was procrastinating around that, and so on and so forth. And last night, I think it was last night or this morning, I can't remember, but I really started asking, like, okay, I know I'm doing this behavior. I know that I'm avoiding it. What is this really about? What is this connected to? And I really understood that it was connected to the fact that last year when I went abroad to Europe for the spiritual retreat I attended, I had a number of things not go the way I wanted them to when I went to Europe. For those of you that have been following me on this journey for quite some time, and you were watching all of my videos in which I was sharing with you all the things that were happening during this trip. And so it was this unconscious fear of, like, I don't know what to expect now. And I have been telling people the last year, I'm going to be location independent in 2019. I'm going to start traveling the world in 2019 because my business is going to be, you know, successful enough to be able to allow for me to travel in the way I want and do all these things and so on and so forth, right? And I have been saying this for a long time, right? My desire, I told the universe, this is what I want. I want a location independent lifestyle and business. Give it to me. So the universe started helping me, started sending me those signals, it started preparing me for the journey. You know, the train started taking off from the station because that is what I put out. And so what happened is, like, the train is really going, and I had to make this decision and let these people know I'm not going to be renewing and so on. But I had been avoiding it, right? And I recognized I had been avoiding it because of my past experience with the trip last year. And it's me stepping into something unknown. It's me stepping into a whole new way of living and being and doing business that I have ever done, and it's something new. And on top of that, there's all these new layers to it. You know, there's me traveling with my cat and figuring out how to travel with a pet, and especially with this very highly sensitive pet that I have, and, you know, figuring out so many different things, and it's just all so new. And that was what was causing me to procrastinate, what was causing me to ignore the signs, to resist, to not get on that train, until this morning I finally was like, okay, listen, I'm done with this crap. I don't want to wait till the last minute. I don't want to wait till it gets to a certain point where, you know, I'm having some challenges. So I'm on it. What do you want me to do? Am I leaving Peru? When am I leaving? What's going on here? Where am I going? Right? And I tuned in with my guides and I asked these questions. So apparently I'm going to be leaving sometime around May and potentially going to somewhere else in Latin America. And so I was like, okay. But that was what I was asking for. If it's like, when I know I'm ready to up level, when I know I'm ready to step into this next level, into a greater level of my life and my business and myself and so on, I can see it. Like, I just know it. I know this is my next step. I've had to do this again and again and again in so many ways in my own journey. And in the beginning, I resisted a lot, and I waited till the very last minute. I waited until it was too late, and the situation was totally out of my control, out of my hands, and it was seriously overwhelming me and causing me all this unnecessary stress and so on, instead of getting on board right away. And so the example I can give you of that is when I was living with my family and I was getting my business off the ground. And long story short, I wasn't noticing the smoke signals from the universe that it was time for me to leave home. It was time for me to go and to become an independent adult again. And I wasn't noticing that because in my mind, logical, rational stuff was like, oh, no, wait, but if I stay home just another 6 months, I'm going to save up this money, I'm going to completely pay off my debt, and then I'll be able to go and move forward and live on my own. And the universe was like, no, girl, no. we are not doing this. You are not going to grow from your comfort zone. You got to get the F out now, and you're going now, and you're going to handle it all and figure it all out now. And so a situation happened in which I had to leave way before I felt I was ready to leave. And that was crazy for me. I waited until it was too late because I was trying to be in the comfort zone. And that's what all of us do. We want to stick to what is comfortable, what is known, even if it makes us miserable, instead of moving forward in the direction of what we want, the things that we want that are unknown to us. And so that is what happened. I waited to the last minute, and then a situation happened, and I had to move. I had to go. And then I stepped into this new experience where I was independent again. I was, completely providing for myself and not having free rent from family and sometimes free food from family. Like, I had to provide for myself, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And, I had roommates at the time, and so that made it a little bit easier. It was like the first baby step that I needed to take to believe that I could support myself financially with my business and so on. And that's what I did. And slowly things came together. Slowly things worked themselves out because I went ahead and moved forward with that decision, even though most of the decision was done for me, but I didn't try to hold on to, oh no, but I have to stay here, and let me see if I can work something out to stay here longer or whatever, because that's what most people do. Most people want to like crawl back into the comfort zone, and no, but this is safe. Let me, for example, people do this a lot with business. They're like, okay, I want to start my business, but I'm just gonna work another 6 months here at this company before I even get started, and then I'll quit my business, quit my job. Sorry, I'm gonna quit my job and then go full-time in my business. And then they do that, right? And then 6 months go by, and then when they get to the 6 months, they're like, oh no, wait, but I'm not ready to start my business yet. Let me just work another 6 months at this job, and then I'll start my business. And then they never start their business because they're always trying to stick to that comfort zone, that kind of thing, right? So people want to like stick to what's known and all that other stuff, even though it makes them miserable. Well, I went ahead, I didn't try to fight. I didn't try to keep myself there. I was scared out of my mind, but I was like, whatever, I'm going to move out, and I will just figure it out as I always do, right? And then I did that. And when I was living there and stuff, I had other situations in which, the situation would get to a really point where it was bad. And then there was no choice but for me to move, but for me to choose to grow, but for me to choose to believe, but for me to like really move forward and give it all I had instead of continuing to retreat into, I'm going to try, I'm going to, hope, I'm going to do this and that, because that's what most people do. And I was like, okay, now there is no way but to move forward. Now there is no way but for me to manifest this money somehow. There is no, I hope I can manifest this money. I hope that this money shows up. No, it's, this money is showing up, and I have no idea, but the universe is going to provide, because I know I'm not in this shit situation for no reason, and I had to march ahead, right? But that's what we do. Most people wait until it gets to that point to finally moving forward instead of just moving forward now, right? And I totally get it, because like I said, I've been there plenty of times, and I've been there enough to know I better board that train before it gets to that point, because we don't want it to get to that point. I've learned, okay, like Pavlov's dogs, I've learned you only got to burn me a few times to let me know I don't want to get burned, teach me I don't want to get burned. And so it's not that the universe is against me. It's that the universe is trying to help me move forward in the direction that I want to go in. It's like, Steph, you've been asking for this. You've been wanting this. Get your ish together and move forward and do this and do that. And so right now, when I decided to move to this apartment right now, beautiful apartment, amazing, dream come true. Never thought I could ever afford to live in such a place by myself and do all these different things and so on, right? But it's time for me to take it to that next level. I just know it. I know what my next steps are. I always feel them, my higher self. I just know what my next steps are. And so I know that, of course, I could choose to renew this contract or move into a better place, a more, beautiful place or bigger place. But that's not going to teach me what I have asked to learn and what I've asked for deep down on the inside. I've asked for a specific kind of lifestyle and certain experiences and so on. So if I stick to my comfort zone of, but this is where I live and this is where I'm from and this is what I've known the last 10 years and I'm comfortable here, I got routines, I love the scenery, like I know what to expect here. If I stick to that, I'm not going to grow and I'm not going to get the big things that I want that are intended for me later down the road, and I can put it off. I can push it off and procrastinate and be like, you know what, universe, I'm not ready to go location independent yet because of XYZ reasons. I think I'm going to renew this contract, or I think I'm going to find somewhere else. I can resist because we all have our free will and we all do this. This is why when the universe sends you a sign, you can use your free will to ignore the sign. The universe is like, okay, well, she missed a sign. It's okay. We'll send her another one. We'll send him another one. They'll send you another one, and then another one, and you can keep resisting and putting it off and keep, taking your sweet time. And then eventually the universe is like, okay, well, you know what? She really wanted this thing, so we really have to help her or him move forward in the direction. So this will definitely help them choose to move in the direction they asked to move in. And then that's when the situation gets to a point where you have no choice but to move forward. You really cannot continue to back out of it, hold back, procrastinate. There is just only moving forward for you. Only that choice, right? And so, like I said, I can choose to, hold back on that stuff, but it's not going to help me in the end, and I already know that. So I'm choosing to move forward. I'm choosing to be like, okay, well, guess I'm moving from Peru, and I guess we're going to figure it out, and everything's going to be okay, and everything's going to be provided, and all this other stuff is going to happen for me to have the most amazing location independent experience ever. And I'm going to move forward in this way, and it's going to be amazing. This is going to be the best year ever, right? But most people, they don't do that. And it takes sometimes practice. Like sometimes you literally have to get a pie in your face over and over and over again until you really decide, I'm sick and tired of having all these pies in my face or getting burned or whatever. Like, I'm going to move forward now, right? But it manifests a lot of times in an illness, in a relationship breakup, in, becoming like people. I know I see a lot of women who, and I've worked with women as well, who don't have an income for themselves. Their partners provide for them. But yet their desire is they want to be financially independent, they want to be empowered, they want to be this person, and yet because they have not chosen to deeply believe in themselves and believe that they have the capacity to provide for themselves, and they're still relying on their partners to provide for them, then guess what the universe does a lot of times to help you move in the direction that you have asked to move in? The universe will cause a breakup so that you no longer have that partner to support you, so that you can get your butt together and move and become that independent woman that you have to be now, because you don't have that safety net of your partner supporting your ass. This is how it works. Legit truth. This is what I teach my clients in my programs. Don't wait for it to get to that point. Step into your power and shift that ish so that you don't manifest those kinds of situations. And so this is what happens a lot of times. Or it will cause, if you don't have, like, let's say boyfriend, girlfriend type of relationship, or, partner type of relationship, in case whatever your preferences and stuff are. Let's say you're in a marriage of some kind and your partner is the one supporting you, right? Guess what's going to happen there? The universe is going to create a situation in which you feel potentially like, I have to get out of this relationship and I have to become financially empowered now because I need to live I need to leave this situation. And the only way for me to leave this situation is to become financially empowered. So the universe will create situations in your relationship for you to light a fire under your butt and start really stepping into your power and really moving forward with your business ventures or whatever it is, so that you can get the finances you need to be financially independent and leave your relationship if that's what is in alignment for you, right? This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is why people wait until it's so freaking late. Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why do we do this, right? I'm not just saying you, because I do this too, like I shared, right? Procrastinating, letting the sign, like, okay, I know I got to make a decision on this. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, right? But I don't wait for it to get too far for too long, right? And that's something that I'm shifting out of lately, because I've noticed it the last few months. I postponed some things, and then I'm like, okay, let me get to this. I don't want that pie in my face, right? And so this is just, what I wanted to really address is, like, why do you guys wait until it's too late? If you want to start a business, why do you, and let's say there's like a course or something that you really feel pulled to do. And if you really feel pulled to do that course and you want to start a business and you feel like this course would really, really help you, why don't you invest in it? Why don't you get that help that you need And a lot of times with these things, it's people that are like, oh, well, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have all the stories. You're just resisting. Because if you really, really feel pulled to do something or work with someone or whatever it is, invest in something, if you really feel pulled to do it, that's your inner guidance trying to tell you this is what you need to do. This is that smoke signal. This is what's going to help you get there faster. But then we resist because we tell ourselves all these stories, all these things about how, it's not the right time, blah, 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 all the crap. And then, 6 months later, you're back at where you have been this whole time in regards to your business. Nothing has really shifted much, right? And then you wonder, why hasn't anything shifted? Well, because you got this support trying to come your way, but then you resisted it, so you don't have the knowledge, the tools, or whatever it is that you need to move forward much more quickly. This is what I'm talking about. So stop waiting until it's too late, okay? I'm going to go through, let's see here. Hey, Lise, I struggle with hearing, listening to my nudges. That's a lack of trust in yourself. And if you have a lack of trust in yourself, a lot of times, it's going to be hard to have success in business because you need to have trust in yourself and in the universe to support and stuff. Otherwise, and that's something that needs to be developed. That's something that takes a little bit of time and know-how and certain things to develop that trust so that you can move more easily in that direction. Hey, Zainab, how are you? I hope I'm saying your name right. I hear you. So true. Yes. So I want to go through, sorry, I get really hot when I channel. I'm like furnace right now. So let me see here, because some of you shared exactly what you wanted to change in your life or your businesses, right? And I want to maybe speak to that if I haven't already spoken to that already. So let me go through these things that you have shared on Facebook. I want to be more at ease while talking about money and charging for my worth. Very good. I want to align with the money energy. Very good. So if this is your desire, want to be, at ease talking about money. Like I talked to my friend, we had lunch and I told my friend, like, yeah, this is what I made last year and this is what I've already made this year and I'm on the right track to hitting my yearly goal and so on. And I'm just talking about thousands and thousands of dollars, no problem, right? As opposed to having reservations around that and so on. And I talk about this publicly all the time on Facebook and so on. I'm always sharing different things and so on. Lately I haven't because I'm doing like an experiment. But this is the thing, is that if you're asking for, I want more ease when I'm talking about money, charging my worth, I want to align with the energy of money so that it can just come to me with ease and grace. That's what you've asked for. Cool. The universe is going to send you little signal after little signal to help you to become more comfortable around that. So what does that mean, or how could that look like? That could look like you talking about your own finances. That could look like you investing in yourself to get support around these things. That could look like you really doing a lot of personal development stuff around your worth on a deeper level than ever before so that you can move in this direction and so on. And really doing that, like making the time to do those things and get the support or whatever it is that you need to move forward. But a lot of times people are like, I don't have time, I'll do that later, I'm too busy, for that, I got all these things going on and so forth. And then the universe is trying to send you that sign and that sign over and over again. And it could show up as, for example, you've asked, you want to feel empowered around charging your worth, and then all of a sudden you might see someone speaking around charging your worth, and then you might read a book that someone recommends that helps with self-worth, and all of these signs are coming to you, letting you know, make the time to work on your self-worth. Make the time to release the issues that you have around your self-worth. But if you are so caught up in doing all these other busy work type tasks, or these things that you think these are the things I need to do to move forward, like, no, the best way to move forward is to work on your self-worth, and then everything will take off because your self-worth is aligned, and then all of these action steps that you are taking will pay off. Because that's what I personally teach, is like, don't try to drive yourself crazy taking all this action thinking that's going to necessarily get the results. It could get you the results, but quite often it's an energy alignment thing, which means you can take all this action and not get anywhere, because if your energy's not aligned, you're not going to get the results. So when you get your self-worth stuff together, then you'll get the results from your actions, right? And so that's the thing that people do, though, is like, oh, wait, I'm too busy, writing this thing or creating this thing or speaking at this thing and doing this thing and so on and so forth, and you don't make the time to work on your self-worth, but yet the universe is sending you all these signals. Hey, work on your self-worth. Look at this person talking about worth. Listen to them. Read this book. Invest in this thing. Do this thing for your self-worth. And you're just like, no, I'll do it later. No, I'm too busy or whatever. Then eventually the universe is like, girl, you done asked to work on your self-worth. So you're not making the time for it. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to create a situation in which you have no choice but to work on your self-worth right now so you can really move forward more powerfully in the direction that you've asked to go in. And then that's when the universe really creates these situations where you literally have nothing else to do but to work on this, because it's so in your awareness because of whatever's going on that you have no choice but to do it, right? And we don't want it to get to that point. That's what I'm saying. We don't want it to get to that point where we're like, you know, shaken into action or whatever it is, right? You don't want to, it's like the equivalent of, you don't want to get that diagnosis from the doctor saying you have some kind of major thing in order to finally change your health and dietary choices or whatever, right? So that's what I'm talking about here. Who else? Let me see if I can speak to anything else here that I have going on. How to use change to improve myself to offer a better service to my tribe. So this is what is really interesting, is that people are afraid of change. People are afraid of moving forward into the unknown, right? You know, so if you want to, like, let's say in my case, because I want to use myself right now as an example. Yeah, there are certain things that are coming up for me around becoming location independent, where I'm like, holy crap, this is totally different. This is change. You know, I'm used to, you know, I can like travel abroad and then come back home, and that's good. Or I can go out on the street and I come back home, like, and I run my business in this way, and I have my like one safe space just for me. Nobody else lives here except my cat, and we're good, and it's just me. Whereas going, you know, abroad and dealing with certain situations, because every country is different, things run differently in countries, and there's all these things that can happen, and that stepping into that kind of environment is unknown to me, and the unknown for people is scary. Investing in yourself when you don't have all the money or you don't know how you're going to make the next payment, that can be scary, right? Because you're stepping into the unknown. But you got to understand that the way to expand and evolve and to have the things that you've never had before is you have to step into the unknown, because that's how you get to create more of what you do desire. That's how you get to create the future that you desire. Because otherwise, if you don't step into change, if you don't embrace change and step into the unknown and do things differently, you're just going to keep creating what you've always known, what you've always done, how it's always been. And if you want to keep creating that, if that's making you happy, cool. Keep creating that. If it's dissatisfying, then you have to learn to embrace the change. You have to learn to put yourself out there, to do things differently, and to know that you can land on your feet each and every single time. Let's see here. Anyone else? Someone wanted to talk about worthiness. Yeah, so a lot of times, let's say you have issues with worthiness, and a lot of people, we all on some level quite often have worthiness issues. And so let's say you're not addressing your worthiness issues. Let's say you're holding on to your old stories, and you want to, you know, consciously you want to feel worthy, but unconsciously you really don't want to feel worthy. Okay? Wait, did I say? Yeah, consciously you want to feel worthy, unconsciously you really don't want to feel worthy. And so you're not changing of your habits. You're not changing any of your habits, any of your patterns, any of your beliefs. You're going through the same kinds of situations, emotions, and relationships and experiences where you continue to reaffirm your unworthiness and not doing anything about it. Meanwhile, you have this deep desire to feel worthy, and that's pulling you forward. And the universe is going to send you signals to help you to step into your worthiness. And the signal could be investing in yourself, because when you invest in yourself, that's a sign that you're worthy of putting back into you. It could be that you set boundaries with other people because you're worthy of respect, and you're worthy of making sure people don't receive excess of your energy and so on, right? Or like that you respect your own energetic boundaries or your own self, and that, you know, you're finding that balance instead of constantly giving and giving so much to others. So it could be that the universe gives you this opportunity to invest in yourself, or to set these boundaries, or, for example, to buy a nice gift for yourself, because when you buy gifts for yourself, that also affirms your worthiness. But yet, meanwhile, when these situations are presented to you, like the investment, you're like, oh no, I can't invest right now, it's not the right time, all the stories. Okay, cool. When a situation around setting boundaries boundary shows up for you, you're like, oh no, I'm just going to keep quiet because I don't want problems, or because I don't want them to get angry at me, or because, you know, da 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 da. And so you don't set those boundaries. Or when there's a beautiful thing that you want to buy and you see it, and then you're like, oh no, but I shouldn't spend money on that because, you know, I need money for this, and so on and so forth. And so I shouldn't use, you know, buy myself this nice thing, and so on. So if you never choose to shift your thoughts, your behaviors, or beliefs around this unworthiness thing, and you don't choose to react in a different way, and so on, then you're just reaffirming the unworthiness. And when you're and because you have asked to really, really embody this worthiness, and you keep ignoring the opportunities that are being given to you to shift and to step into greater worthiness, what ends up happening is you will manifest a big situation in which something major will happen for you to work on your worthiness issues. And it could manifest in the form of having your partner, let's say you have a partner who has given you the sense of worthiness, and then maybe from one day to the next the relationship just ends. The person decides to leave you and you're all alone, and then you no longer have that person to depend on for this feeling of worthiness. And now you have to learn how to give that worthiness feeling to yourself. And this is what often happens, is we wait till it gets to this big point, this big situation, for us to finally snap into, you know, snap out of it and like get into the, you know, move forward, light a fire under our butts, and really like progress and actually do these kinds of things. So this is what I'm talking about here, is we don't want to wait until it's too late to change our lives for the better. You know, we don't want to wait for it to manifest. If it manifests in that way, it's okay, it's perfect, it's part of what you needed apparently, right? Totally get it, because sometimes we really need to have ourselves back against the wall, backed into a corner in order to finally move. That's what often happens, right? Like, that's often what we need, is in order to move forward and move beyond the ego and the fear and doubts and the work, all the crap, you know, we need to have something to really spring us into action. So this is what I'm talking about here, that we're trying to avoid for our highest good, to make life more of an easier, more enjoyable journey. Okay? So does anyone have questions around this that watched the first part, that is joining me now for the second part live? Always feel free to share any thoughts, any questions, any things that you have, because I can always potentially do another teaching around this. I always share lots and lots of value in all of my teachings. Let me look at the other thread that I have pulled up here. Someone said something about changing business. Yeah, so it depends, you know, if you want change in your business, depends on what kind of change, but a lot of times with business, you have to see, okay, what's working, what's not working. Okay, if this is not working, what is that really about? Getting really deep into that, and then choosing to make the shifts around that, whatever that is, to then get those results that you want in business. But a lot of times, like the best way I can teach this to you through my own example, this is what I teach heavily in my money mindset manifesting programs, because this is a powerful experience that I have had to have on my own journey. Was many of you who have been following me for a while, you know my story, my money stories. I share all my things all the time, because, you know, this entrepreneurial journey has been a fun roller coaster, let me tell you. So there was a point where, you know, for those of you that are new, there was a point where I was doing my best to clear a lot of my limiting beliefs and fears and stuff around being able to have a successful business, make all this money, do all these things, and so on and so forth. So consciously, in the physical, I was doing the things. I was showing up, because that's the kind of person I am. I am showing up, and I will do the things. And especially if I'm not spending, but I'm investing. If I'm investing thousands of dollars to get coached, I'm going to get these results, let me tell you. So I was doing all the things. I was showing up in the physical, doing the things to get the results, to attract the clients that I wanted, to reach these money goals. But what had happened was I wasn't shifting within myself. I wasn't shifting my frequency. I wasn't truly making the shift from within. You know, on an exterior kind of level, mental level, physical level, I was shifting. But when it came to doing the deeper work, which is what I teach people how to do now, this deeper level of inner shifting, I was still holding on to a frequency of, I don't really believe this is possible. I don't really believe that I'm worthy. I don't really believe I can do this. All this other crap. So what ended up happening was, you know, wonderful Stef here, hello, I ended up manifesting a situation in which I was backed into the corner, and no money was coming in, and loans and credit cards and bills had to be paid, and I legit had no money, and I couldn't pay them, and then I had bill collectors calling me to the point where they were calling all the numbers and calling my family, and then it became this thing, and then I was so embarrassed because I had my mom calling me, telling me that my grandma was being harassed by these bill collectors, and all this drama ensued because, again, I waited until it was too late. I was doing my absolute best on a conscious level to make these shifts, yet internally it wasn't really shifting. It wasn't changing. And so I needed to create this beautiful experience for me to finally decide, enough of this ish. I'm going to succeed. This is going to happen. This is the way it's going to be. And I'm moving the F forward. And I will get my feet, I will get back on my feet. And it will be okay, and so on and so forth. And when I really made that shift, all of a sudden, all this money started coming in. All of a sudden, it just really started pouring in like never before, and started coming in greater and greater levels. So if there's something in business that is not working for you and you want it to change, a lot of times, it depends on what it is. I can't really explain it in this video because I don't know your specific situation for the person that asked this question. But it's about saying, okay, what's not working? What's really going on within there? Am I making the necessary shifts, on all of these different levels? And choosing to step into that over and over and over again, and to really shift that energy so you can get the results that you want. Otherwise, you will potentially, I can't say this for sure, only the universe knows, but you might have your train leave the station and might get dragged a little bit like I did. But it's okay. It's part of the journey. Sometimes we need that, right? I needed that to learn I don't want that anymore. So, I got burned a few more times after that, but then I learned I really don't want this anymore. I'm getting on that train. So I hope this helps. Thank you for tagging me again. What you were talking about living without a set location or just in one place, talk more about that in another video. I love that type of adventurous content. Oh, girl, I'm going to be talking about this as I go on my own journey and I go on these adventures and so on. So I will be talking about those things as the process unfolds. Right now, this is not the content for this. So if you really enjoyed this content, if you really feel like it's time for you to make a big change in really stepping into your power and creating what you desire and getting certain areas of your life back into alignment so they can start having more harmony and balance in them, and you get more of what you want. If you really want to learn how to do this for yourself, I invite you to join me in my Remembering Who You Are program. It's a very powerful 8-week program in which we're going to go deep into this stuff. We're going to have spiritual teachings to help you understand these things. We're going to do mindset stuff that's going to help you. I don't like calling it mindset work anymore. I'm trying to find another word for it, but I call it mindset stuff for now. So we're going to do mindset stuff around that. We're going to do manifesting. I'm going to teach you around manifesting and how to understand how you're creating your reality and all of these different things so that different areas of your life, whether it's health, relationships, business, whatever it is, you can start really stepping into your power around that and to shift things before it gets to this point of no return. It's not necessarily no return, but it's just the point where you're like, oh, I'm in deep doo-doo and I gotta do something about this now. So this is what I'm going to be teaching you in this program so that you can really start feeling empowered in your life and start not waiting until the last minute and not ignoring the signs and so on, so that you can recognize the signs more quickly and know exactly what needs to shift within you so you can move forward. And it's my most affordable yet highly transformational program. This program is worth well over $4K because it's absolutely life-changing. It will completely change everything in your life because you will practice this again and again and again and see the results again and again, and really astound yourself with how powerful of a creator you are in your reality, how you're always manifesting these things, even the things that we don't necessarily like. Like I didn't really like that experience, initially of having bill collectors call me and stuff, but yet, it was what I needed. Manifested it. So I'm going to teach you how to really understand these kinds of concepts on a deep level and understand why you have gone through the difficult past that you've gone through. Maybe you've had some kind of abuse experience that you feel is traumatic and so on and so forth, and really making peace with that, releasing that, so that if your finances improve, your relationships improve, your health improves, so many things in your life improve, and you really start recognizing everything is really just a reflection of your energy and shifting the things you need to shift in your energy to get what you want in all of these different areas of life so that you can be happier, so that you can be more abundant, so that you can be more successful. It's so powerful. So my Remembering Who You Are program, if you're interested in this, reach out to me, message me. you're on Facebook, you know how to find me, PM me. It's $9.99. There are affordable payment plans. If you feel like this is your time, get out of your own way, reach out to me. Let's get you in this program because it starts next week and it's going to change your life. It is going to completely transform the remainder of your year and onwards. So that's what I have to share with all of you today. How do you know if the inner shift isn't happening? Cool, great question. So how you know the inner shift isn't happening, it depends on what you're talking about here. But the best way to ask is, do I doubt that I'm making any progress? Okay. Do I have any doubt that I'm moving forward? If you have any doubt, like what happens a lot of times in my money manifesting programs, right, is when my clients ask me something like, hey, Steph, am I moving forward with manifesting this money amount that I want or whatever for the program, or am I making progress with this? Am I really going to get this soon? And so on and so forth. And I'm like, well, why are you even asking me? Because if you really believed and trusted and know that it's yours, you wouldn't be asking me. You would be like, I'm 100% sure, right? And I totally get it, because sometimes we want that little confirmation and so on and so forth. But that's something I've had to learn for myself, is like, when I have to ask my coach, hey, can you just double check if I'm going to do this thing or if I'm going to be successful in this thing? And she just looks at me like, girl. And I'm like, never mind. I will shift in myself to know so that I don't have to ask you, because I already know, right? So if there is some kind of doubt in yourself, and you can feel it a lot of times in your body, you can feel like, if it's since you're a business owner, the person asking this question, if you feel like you have this launch or your book launch right now, right? And let's say you want to create a in-person book launch and you want to have this many people in it, ideally. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to do my part to shift energy, to shift beliefs, to be able to have the most successful launch. And then you think about the launch and you're like, do I really believe that I'm going to have an amazing book launch or an amazing event or whatever it is? And then you feel like this sinking of your heart maybe, or you feel something in your body, some weird thing, or this negative thought pops into your head all of a sudden, then that's how you know you haven't really made the inner shift. Because when you really have made the inner shift, you are strong in who you are, you know it, and it doesn't matter that you don't have the physical proof yet. You just like, this is what it is, and it's done, and this is what's going to happen, and I feel this, I know this. And many people choose to kind of validate this kind of thing through muscle testing. Muscle testing is just a way to measure what you truly believe in the inside, because a lot of times your body will be, this is not 100% accurate, even though it has a high success rate or high accuracy rate. But at least like in my coach's experience, my coach is a powerful psychic, and she's had this done before, and the person who muscle tested her, they didn't get an accurate result for what she was getting from her guides. So anyway, the point is that a lot of times your body is very much deeply connected to your subconscious mind, which is what you truly believe and feel and think and all this other stuff. And so when you ask like, hey, I believe that I'm going to have a successful book launch, or I believe I'm going to reach this 15K month, or I believe that I'm going to meet this person that I've been dying to meet, or whatever it is, and then you muscle test, you can oftentimes see what you truly believe around that, if you really truly believe that thing that you're saying, or if not, because your body doesn't often lie, because it's connected to your subconscious, and it can let you know whether or not you truly believe this or not. Is it always accurate? No, it's not. I've had this done on myself, where I had a healer muscle test me for some shit, and their energy influenced my energy and results and stuff like that. So they got a negative response for something that wasn't true. And anyway, the point is that this is a way you can, if you want to try that. But otherwise, it's this deeper knowing. And if you feel it, any kind of discomfort in your body, if you feel this negative thing, then you really know you haven't truly made the inner shift. Hope that helps. Okay. So it's just, when you know, and it takes practice getting to that point of knowing. Okay. But when you know, like, this is the way it is, that's how you know, like, you've made the shift, and there's absolutely no doubt, right? And sometimes people, because they don't have such a strong level of honesty with themselves, a lot of times they're in denial, and they feel like they know, but they don't really know. So they there's a lot of people that try to convince themselves that they believe in their success. And they're like, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to do this. And and I'm going to achieve this, and so on. And it's just like their conscious will that this is what they want. But inside, there's still doubt and fear. And so to be able to distinguish that difference, you have to have such a high level of awareness and deep trust and honesty with yourself to really distinguish whether it's just your ego trying to convince you that you really believe and think that you're going to get this result, or whether or not that's really coming from your inner knowing, right? So it takes a bit of a practice. Hope that helps in some way. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I hope that this has helped you tremendously. And like I said, if you want to work with me in any way, always reach out to me. Remembering Who You Are is my next program. And you're always welcome to reach out to me to see if we can work together VIP, because VIP sometimes is the best option for people, especially if you have worked with me in the past or you have done a high-level personal development and you're into spiritual things and so on. VIP is the fastest way to get everything into balance, business, personal life, everything. So reach out to me always, anytime you want to work with me. So until then, I send you all so much love. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.